Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of All Angles. Now, coming up in tonight's program, we are going to be talking to Agent Sasko. He's in studio with me, so we'll be coming to him in a few minutes. First, though, given the growing spread of COVID-19, as well as all the talk about the COVID-19 vaccine, we spoke to a Jamaican in the United States, one of the healthcare workers who is now getting, well, I should say, among the group of healthcare workers now getting the vaccine. So let's go to that first. Shauna Chin is a Jamaican actress living in Los Angeles. She's appeared in shows like Criminal Minds. With the entertainment industry shut down, she's now immersed in her other career as an intensive care unit nurse working on the front lines of the pandemic. Earlier today, she allowed us to record her taking the COVID-19 vaccine. We're joined now from Los Angeles by Jamaican nurse Shauna Chin, who is herself about to take the COVID-19 vaccine. We're going to be going with her through that process. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, you're not Shauna, you're Shauna's friend, colleague. Can you tell us what's happening?
I'm Nadine. So Shauna is up now for her vaccine. So she's going to get the vaccine while I record her, and then she'll have that discussion with you guys after.
I'm here for 10 to 12 or 10 to whenever.
Okay, have you had a lot of people coming in for the vaccine?
Yes, we have quite a bit of people that's coming in. I'm going to see if I can flip the camera so you guys can pretty much see. You see quite a bit of people and
Yes.
quite a bit in front of her. There she is. She's up next.
Great. So are the people we're seeing healthcare workers, or are they just members of the public who are coming in?
They're all healthcare workers. They're all healthcare workers. We get the vaccine first.
Okay.
So Shauna is going in now. I'm going to flip the camera to her. So Shauna is getting her vaccine by Jamal, Mr. Armstrong. Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Thank you.
Okay.
Sounds good. Lauren, you said he's second place.
Yeah, you must.
I could agree with that.
All right, ready?
She's
On both?
no
In
one.
the red back there?
Okay, so at 9, so at 10, 15, to get up here.
You're welcome, my dear.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong.
You're welcome. Let me put my whole number.
So I'm going to tell you that this is the waiting area where everyone waits after they get the vaccine so that they can be monitored for at least 15 minutes. Make sure that they have no adverse reactions.
Jamal said it's been 9:50. We started at 9:50.
Can you guys hear me?
We're hearing you. Thanks.
Okay, so that it goes all the way down to the end of this hall. Because of course there still needs to be social distancing.
Right. So what kind of adverse reactions are being looked for?
So we're looking for any kind of hypotension, which is like low blood pressure, any nausea, vomiting, dizziness, within that first 15 minutes.
We had heard reports of a nurse. We had heard reports of a nurse who fainted recently after getting the vaccine. Is that the kind of thing you'd be looking for?
Yes, and we'll be looking for that as well, syncopal episodes. I'm going to turn you over to Shauna now.
Okay. Shauna, we just saw you take your COVID-19 vaccine. So talk to us a little bit first about your decision to take it.
Well, because I'm in the emergency room department, it was important for me to take the vaccine because I have no other defense against it. And so, while I have some concerns about the vaccine, just as everybody else does, I think the bigger issue is being protected. So for me, that was a no-brainer.
So the first doses got to your institution when?
This was last week. We've had it for a week now.
Did you hesitate at all before signing up?
Um, we're having persons hesitate. Even though we're healthcare workers, we have same concerns as the public. You know, like I say, the importance is the bigger picture, which is we need defense against this virus. It's pretty deadly. And I know people talk about the flu being deadly as well, but this is a different kind of devastation that we've seen. And so it's important for us to get as much defense against it as we can.
Walk us through the protocol now in relation to taking the virus. We saw you talking to the gentleman a little bit before he gave you the injection. So what was he saying and what happens now?
So what he was able to verify if I have any previous allergies. So that's important for them to know. Do you have any allergies? And he also told me what the protocol was. So in 21 days, I will have to take a second vaccine, and then I'll have protection against the virus. Typically, the first vaccine, persons are saying that they do have some immunity, but for the most part, you are required to take the second one and then have more immunity.
Your colleague who was talking to us said that right now you're in the waiting room where you're being observed, you and the others are being observed for any possible adverse reactions. Is that something you are concerned about?
No, it's just protocol. Typically, if a person is going to have any allergic reaction to anything, then, the routine is that you monitor them for 15 to 30 minutes. And so we're just in the monitoring period. I've just taken the vaccine and we're now in the waiting period. And it's normal. And most persons here in the waiting area know everybody's been doing fine.
You're in California. What's been the kind of public reaction to the vaccine? Is it being welcomed, or are people a little bit concerned, or in the wait and see mode? What's a general reaction?
Well, in Los Angeles, I find that most persons are pretty health conscious to begin with. Everybody it's Hollywood. So everyone, if you say it's good for the health, then pretty much most persons, they'll be more agreeable. I find that the most persons who have the hesitation to it are my Jamaican counterparts. Most
Really?
persons, yes, everybody in Jamaica, when we did an article with with another newspaper, and the comments under it was just hilarious. It's just so many conspiracy theories, and I would just tell people not to feed into those, because they are what they are, conspiracy theories, and they can prove detrimental. If we all listen to that, then we won't be able to protect ourselves. And the important thing to remember about this vaccine is it's not just protecting you, it's protecting the community at large. And that's important.
What are some of the stories or the myths you've heard that you would want to see debunked?
The biggest one is that it interferes with your DNA and changes your composition and changes you as a person. And that's not true. One of the things with the mRNA or the messenger RNA, it teaches your body how to react to this virus should you get in contact with it. But it does not interact with your DNA. There's been no evidence, no scientific evidence to prove that it changes or interacts with your DNA. And I think that's the biggest thing that people are not aware of.
How hopeful are you that this could really be an important turning point in this pandemic?
Oh, I'm pretty hopeful. I have been seeing a lot of persons who have been coming in through the emergency. I work in the ER ICU areas, and it's been such a devastation, and we have been seeing an increase in the persons who are presenting to the hospital. And so with more persons getting vaccinated, more persons being, having immunity to this virus, then we can hopefully get over the hump of this pandemic.
And what message do you hope that you're taking it and taking it live for us is going to send?
Well, I think most persons just want to see someone else take it, someone else that they can kind of reach out and touch and say, okay, I know that person and this person, let me see how she responds to it. And I think having a presence in Jamaica, having a presence here in California, I think, it was important for me to, since I do have the luxury of being in entertainment, but also being a frontline worker, I was able to get the vaccine, be one of the first to get the vaccines. And so it was important for me to go ahead and have everybody see, like, okay, let's see how she fares.
Okay.
Which will be well.
Gonna leave it there. Well. Thank you so much for talking to us. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful
Anytime.
Christmas and stay safe.
All right. You too, Dion. Always lovely talking to you.
We'll be in touch. And thank you so much for that, Shauna. As you can see, that was shot on amateur cell phone video. We're in COVID-19 now, so we communicate how we can. So stay tuned. When we come back right after the break, Agent Sasko is in studio with me. We're going to be talking about his latest project and a whole heap more things. So make sure you stay tuned. And remember, our hashtag is TVJ All Angles. Soon come.